There comes a moment in life when everything seems to crumble around us, dreams shatter, plans derail, and our confidence feels like it's been buried beneath the debris of failure. In that moment, we are tempted to believe that we've reached the end of our capacity, that we've stretched as far as we could. But I want you to pause and ask yourself, is this really my limit or just the point where I stop believing? Because often the limit is not real, it is simply the border we draw with fear, with doubt, with past wounds. Today, let us talk about breaking that illusion. Today, let us talk about going beyond your limits, not just to survive, but to thrive. Let's awaken the power within you that you've long buried under what the world told you was impossible. Embrace discomfort. It's where growth begins. Discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is the beginning of transformation. Most people turn away the moment they feel pain, as if pain is the enemy. But pain is a messenger. It tells you that you are shedding an old version of yourself. It is not the world trying to hurt you. It is life trying to teach you. When everything inside you wants to run, sit with the pain. That's where your courage is born. We are often raised to seek comfort, to avoid what challenges us. But what if comfort is the cage? What if everything you want is on the other side of what makes you uncomfortable? The journey of becoming doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you dare to walk barefoot across the fire, knowing that you are not walking toward pain, but through it into power. The caterpillar doesn't become the butterfly. In peace it struggles, breaks open, dissolves, and only then it takes flight. You too must allow yourself to be broken open by discomfort, because that breaking will shape you into something more powerful than you can imagine. Let the cracks appear. They are not your weakness. They are your windows to light. Most people never realize how strong they are because they never allow themselves to be truly tested. They stop at the first sign of resistance, thinking it's a wall. But what if it's just a mirror? A mirror reflecting who you must become in order to move forward. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It is your introduction to your next self. When you feel lost, uncertain, or overwhelmed, remember that you're growing. You're expanding. You're being invited into a larger space than you've ever known. It's uncomfortable only because you are shedding the skin that no longer fits your soul. You are not too sensitive. You're awakening. Discomfort teaches you humility. It reminds you that you don't know everything, and that's okay. That is the first step toward wisdom, admitting you are still a student of life, of pain, of perseverance. The more you resist the discomfort, the more you delay your becoming. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need every answer. You just need the courage to walk into the unknown, even if your legs shake, even if your heart races. Walk anyway. Because when you walk through fear, you are telling your soul, I'm ready. And your soul will respond. Think about the people who inspire you. None of them were made in comfort. They were forged in fire. They faced storms that should have drowned them, but they swam through with bloodied hearts and unshakable purpose. Why should your story be any different? Discomfort introduces you to your resilience. You don't know how much you can endure until endurance is your only option. When life pushes you to your knees, don't resist the fall. Use it as a prayer position. Learn to kneel in surrender, not in defeat. There's wisdom in yielding. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that struggle meant something was wrong. But struggle often means something is right. It means you are doing something bold. It means you are defying gravity. It means you're refusing to shrink into safety. The mountain doesn't apologize for being steep. The sea doesn't apologize for its waves. And your life doesn't apologize for its lessons. If the path is hard, it's probably because you're walking towards something beautiful. Don't turn back now. The climb is your refinement. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to feel pain. But you are not allowed to give up on yourself. You've come too far. You've suffered too much. Let the discomfort fuel you. Let it become your evidence that something new is being born inside you. There is a strange magic in discomfort. The kind that breaks your bones but strengthens your spine. The kind that tests your voice but refines your truth. Embrace it, and you'll see you were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to rise. Every scar that discomfort leaves behind becomes part of your tapestry. It tells your story. It becomes the proof that you kept going. Even when every part of you wanted to stop, let those scars shine. Let them speak for you. Let them remind you that you are still here and still growing. And when you begin to welcome discomfort as a teacher, as a healer, as a silent companion, you will no longer fear it. You will understand it, and in understanding it, you will finally understand yourself. Turn pain into purpose. And purpose into power. Pain is not the end of your story. It's the spark that begins a new chapter. Too often we try to silence pain. We hide it behind smiles. We bury it under distractions. But pain doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits for you to listen, not to punish you, but to wake you up. Because inside pain is the seed of purpose. If you're willing to dig deep enough, your wounds are not signs of weakness. They are invitations. Invitations to heal, to help, to hold space for others who suffer in silence. When you've walked through fire, you carry a light no one else can offer. That light becomes your purpose, not. Because life was easy for you, but because you found a way through the darkness. Some people spend their whole lives asking why something happened to them. But healing begins the moment you ask how it happened for you. What did this pain teach you? What parts of you did it awaken? What strength did it uncover that you never knew existed? When you allow pain to speak, it transforms. It's no longer just a memory, it becomes a message. A message that says, you made it. And because you made it, you can now light the way for someone else. That's how pain evolves. It becomes a bridge to others. It becomes purpose. You don't have to be fully healed to have purpose. Sometimes your purpose is born in your brokenness. You show up with trembling hands, with aching bones, and still you offer love. Still you offer hope. That is power. The power to keep going, even when everything inside you is asking you to give up. Purpose isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it shows up in the quiet choices to get out of bed, to smile at a stranger, to forgive someone who didn't apologize. Those small acts, born from great pain, become the very definition of strength. Your scars have stories. And when you start telling them not with bitterness but with bravery, you will feel the shift. You will see how your pain becomes someone else's survival guide. That is how you turn pain into power. You offer it as medicine. Purpose doesn't mean you have all the answers. It just means you've chosen to live with intention. That you've decided your life will not be defined by what hurt you, but by what you choose to do with that hurt. That decision is your freedom. Let your pain guide you, not cage you. Let it direct your energy into something meaningful. Whether it's writing, creating, helping, teaching, your pain has carved a path only you can walk. And someone, somewhere, is waiting for your footsteps. There will be days when the pain still stings. That's okay. Purpose doesn't mean you never hurt again. It means your hurt no longer owns you. It means you've reclaimed your power. And in that power, you find peace. When you stop hiding your pain, you find people who understand it. You find community. You find belonging. And in that shared space of struggle, you risen not just for yourself, but for others. That is purpose. That is healing multiplied. Every tear you've cried, every silent scream, every moment you thought you couldn't make it wasn't wasted. It was shaping you. And now, you stand taller, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. That strength becomes your foundation. Let your pain fuel your passion. Let it give you vision. Let it remind you that your life is bigger than your suffering. You are here for more. You are here to transform what once broke you into something that builds others. You are not your trauma. You are what you choose to create from it. You are the meaning you give to the moments that almost destroyed you. That choice of meaning, of purpose, is the most powerful thing you own. And when you look back years from now at the very pain that once brought you to your knees, you will see it for what it really was: a doorway into purpose, a doorway into power, a doorway into the strongest version of yourself you've ever known. Silence the inner critic and amplify the inner warrior. There's a voice that lives inside us, one we never invited, yet it speaks the loudest when we're about to rise. It tells us we're not enough, not ready, not worthy. This is the voice of the inner critic, and its weapon is doubt. It does not shout with logic, it whispers with fear. But you must understand, this voice is not the truth. It is a shadow of every judgment you've ever absorbed, and it is not yours to carry. The inner critic feeds on your past failures and multiplies them. It reminds you of every rejection, every mistake, every scar, as if those define you. But you are not your failures. You are the strength it took to stand back up. You are the courage that trembled, but chose to try again. And no critic, internal or external, can take that from you. When the inner critic speaks, pause. Don't fight it with anger, face it with understanding. Ask yourself, whose voice is this really? Is it mine, or is it something I was taught to believe? Often, the critic isn't you. It's an echo of someone who once made you feel small. The moment you recognize this, the voice loses power. You were not born doubting yourself. You were taught to question your worth. Somewhere along the way, life happened. You were bruised. You were told you weren't enough. And that seed of doubt took root. But here's the truth. Anything learned can be unlearned. And your soul remembers who you were before the world told you otherwise. You do not silence the inner critic by force. You silence it by truth. Speak louder than the lies. Remind yourself who you are, what you've survived, and why you still rise. Replace every I can't with I will. Replace every I'm not good enough with I'm growing. It's not about arrogance, it's about reclaiming your inner warrior. The inner warrior is not loud. It does not need to scream to be heard. It sits in your heart, quiet but firm, reminding you of every storm you've weathered. It says, I know you're scared, but we've been scared before, and we still move forward. That is the voice you must nurture. That is the voice you must amplify. Every time you chose to keep going, when everything in you screamed to stop, that was your warrior. Every time you believed in your dream when no one else did, that was your warrior. And every time you smiled through the pain, just so others wouldn't worry, that was your warrior. You've never been weak. You've just been listening to the wrong voice. There's a fire in you, though you've tried to hide it. You've been taught to play small, to shrink, to fit in. But the warrior in you was never born to be invisible. It was born to rise, to speak, to fight for your light. The world needs that fire, and you need to stop dimming it. You are not broken. You are building. You are not lost. You are becoming. And the inner critic may never disappear completely, but you will get stronger in choosing whose voice you believe. Choose the one that reminds you of your worth. Choose the one that tells you to try again. Celebrate your small wins. Speak kindly to yourself. Replace self-judgment with self-compassion. You've carried burdens no one saw. You've held tears behind smiles. You've been your own anchor in storms. You deserve to speak to yourself with the same love you offer others. Your inner warrior does not wear armor made of perfection. It wears honesty. It wears scars. It wears humility. It says, I am still healing, but I'm still here. And that is more powerful than any flawless mask you could ever wear. Be real. That's where your warrior breathes. Comparison is the poison the inner critic uses most, but your path is not their path. Your timeline is not their timeline. You are not behind. You are on your own divine schedule. The warrior in you doesn't race, it rises when it's time, and your time is coming. You don't need to have it all figured out to be powerful. You just need to keep showing up for yourself. Keep choosing the voice that believes in you. Keep practicing bravery, even if your hands shake. That's how warriors are built in. Small, sacred, repeated acts of courage. Let your inner warrior write your next chapter. Let it be the voice that wakes you up, not with fear, but with fire. Let it be the reason you choose to rise again and again. And when the inner critic knocks on your door, let the warrior be the one who answers not with hate, but with unwavering truth. And as you walk forward, not perfectly, but purposefully, let the voice inside you reflect your strength, not your shame. Let it be a compass, not a cage. Let it tell the story of who you are becoming, not who you were told to be, because you are more than enough. You always have been. Rebuild yourself with self-belief, not approval. There's a dangerous prison we often step into without knowing it's called validation. The need to be seen, to be liked, to be approved. And every time we tie our worth to someone else's opinion, we hand them the key to our peace. But the truth is, no one can validate you like you can. You must learn to rebuild yourself from the inside out, not with their approval, but with your own belief. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. You don't need a chorus clapping for you to know you're enough. If they don't see your light, it's not your job to dim it. It's your job to shine anyway. Because belief is not given, it is built. Brick by brick, with every promise you keep to yourself. You may not be where you want to be yet, but look at how far you've come. Every scar is a chapter. Every fall is a sentence. Every rise is a revelation. Stop discrediting your journey because it doesn't look like someone else's. You are not behind. You are becoming. Rebuilding yourself means breaking the old habits of needing applause. It means standing alone. Sometimes. It means choosing your vision over their voices. You may disappoint others, but do not disappoint yourself. You've silenced your truth for too long. When the world is quiet and there's no one clapping, can you still believe in your dream? That's the real test. Self-belief is not loud, it's steady. It whispers, "I've got you," when the world goes silent. And that whisper is more powerful than 1,000 cheers. Approval will always be temporary. People will applaud when it suits them and fall silent when you fail. But belief, real, unshakable belief, is yours to keep. You don't need them to believe in you. You need you to believe in you. That is where the foundation is laid. Rebuilding means becoming your own home. It means filling your space with self-trust. It means choosing peace over performance. When you realize that being loved by yourself is more powerful than being liked by the world, you will finally be free. You cannot control how others see you. You can only control how you see yourself. Stop waiting for their validation to start living. Start speaking kindly to yourself. Start honoring your worth. You are not asking for too much. You've just been asking the wrong people. There is beauty in becoming your own source of strength. In knowing that even if they walk away, you won't. Even if they doubt you, you won't. Even if they stop clapping, you will still rise. That is what self-belief does. It roots you so deeply. The storm can't move you. You've built others up your whole life. You've believed in their dreams, cheered for their wins. It's time to give that same love to yourself. It's time to stop treating your dreams like they're optional. They're not. They're your calling, and your belief is the only ticket you need. You were not born to beg for validation. You were born to embody your worth, to walk in your truth, to look in the mirror and say, "I am proud of me," even if no one else does. That is where real confidence grows, not from praise, but from presence. Stop waiting for the world to give you what you already possess. Start trusting your voice. Start following your instincts. Start loving yourself enough to stand alone if needed. Because approval may decorate your journey, but belief builds it. Let go of the need to explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. Let go of the need to be understood before you allow yourself to grow. You don't owe the world an explanation for why you're finally choosing yourself. And every day you choose belief over approval, you become more you. You become more aligned. You become more powerful. Because when your foundation is built on belief, nothing can shake it. Not their silence, not their doubts, not even your own fears. Rebuilding yourself with belief is the most rebellious, most beautiful thing you will ever do. It means you are done begging, done shrinking, done performing. It means you are finally ready to rise for you, because of you, and with you. Dare to begin again, even after you've lost everything. There comes a moment in life when everything you built, everything you trusted, everything you held close breaks. Sometimes it happens slowly, piece by piece, and sometimes in one devastating moment. The silence after that kind of loss is deafening. It feels like the world has forgotten your name. But that silence, that very silence, is not the end. It is the space where you are being invited to begin again. Beginning again is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Because it requires courage not just to rise, but to rise without anything familiar beneath your feet. You're not picking up where you left off, you're starting with nothing but faith. And that is the bravest kind of beginning. Because it says, I will build again even with trembling hands. Loss makes you question everything, your purpose, your worth, even your identity. Who are you when all that defined you is gone? That question is painful, but necessary. Because it leads you back to your core, to the truth you forgot while chasing titles, attachments, and old dreams. You remember that you are not the things you lost. You are the soul that survived them. Starting over doesn't mean you failed. It means life is giving you another Chancean opportunity to rebuild with more wisdom, with deeper truth, with stronger roots. Sometimes the blessing is not in what you gain, but in what you lose. Because what you lose often clears space for what your spirit truly needs. There will be moments when the grief hits like a wave, unexpected, uncontrollable, unrelenting. Don't fight the wave. Let it pass through you. You're not drowning, you're cleansing, you're shedding what no longer fits your becoming. And when the tide recedes, you'll find pieces of yourself that were hidden beneath the chaos. The people around you may not understand your new beginning. They may expect you to bounce back quickly, to smile when you're still aching, to pretend you're okay. But you don't owe them speed. You owe yourself honesty. If healing takes time, take time. If rebuilding takes years, take years. Your pace is sacred. You will be tempted to go back to old patterns, back to broken comfort, back to what once felt like safety. But beginning again means you have to say no to what nearly destroyed you. You have to believe that what's ahead is worth more than what's behind. Even if you can't see it yet, you may feel alone in this new start, but you're not. Every soul that's ever been broken knows the loneliness of starting over. But you are walking a path that millions have walked and survived, and someday you'll light that path for someone else. You'll become the proof that starting over doesn't mean ending, it means rewriting. There's a quiet strength in choosing to begin again when no one claps for you, when no one sees your pain, when no one understands the battle behind your smile. That choice is not small, it is monumental. It's a silent roar that says, I will not let this break me. Your new beginning doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to be grand. It can start in the smallest of ways, in the decision to get out of bed, to make your favorite tea, to breathe and try again. These tiny acts of hope are seeds. Water them daily. One day they'll bloom. You don't need to have a clear vision. You don't need to know every step. All you need is the courage to take the next one. Because beginnings are not about clarity, they're about commitment. Commitment to yourself. Commitment to the life you still believe is possible. Starting over is a rebellion against despair. It's a declaration that you still have dreams worth fighting for. That your soul still burns with purpose. That your story isn't done. And even if the chapters ahead are unknown, you are still the author. Hold the pen tight. Yes, it's unfair. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's exhausting. But you've already survived what you thought would destroy you. That means you carry a resilience no one can take from you. That means you have already proven the impossible possible just by being here. Let this beginning be different. Let it be honest. Let it be messy. Let it be full of grace. You don't have to rush. You don't have to pretend. You just have to show up for yourself again and again. Every morning, every moment, even when you're scared. And remember, no matter how empty you feel, you are never starting from nothing. You are starting with experience, with depth, with strength you didn't know you had, with a heart that still beats, with a spirit that refuses to give up, and that more than anything is enough to build a new life. The power within you was never lost, it was always waiting. As we come to the end of this journey, remember, going beyond your limits isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming you, the version of yourself that was buried under fear, silenced by doubt, and forgotten in the noise of the world's expectations. The real you is not fragile. The real you is not weak. The real you is fire wrapped in grace, thunder wrapped in silence, a warrior clothed in scars and still standing tall. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to rise beyond what others imagined for you, beyond the ceilings they set, beyond the pain that tried to define you. You were never broken. You were breaking open, revealing the power that was quietly blooming in the shadows. The power within you is not something you find, it's something you remember. It is not given to you by the world. It was breathed into your soul long before the world even knew your name. Every moment you chose healing over hiding, you proved your strength. Every step you took in fear, you activated courage. Every time you faced your past and still moved forward, you unlocked the next layer of the power within you. And that power, it is yours now. It is not something temporary. It is not something borrowed. It is permanent, unshakable, and uniquely yours. You've shattered the myth that you needed to be perfect to be powerful. You've realized that vulnerability is not weakness, it is truth. And truth, when embraced fully, sets you free. Free from the limits that once defined you. Free from the lies that once silenced you. Free to create, to feel, to speak, to live, not just exist. This entire journey was never about becoming fearless. It was about choosing to act in spite of fear. It was about rising not in the absence of pain, but through it. It was about daring to begin again, even when the ashes of your past still covered your hands. That kind of strength, the strength to believe in yourself after being broken, is the kind of strength the world needs more of. Now take this truth with you. You were born with everything you need to rise. The courage, the light, the resilience. It was always there, buried beneath the noise, waiting for you to stop searching outward and start looking inward. That's where your power lives. That's where your story begins again. So as you step forward from here, don't just move or rise. Don't just dream, believe. Don't just exist, live fully, fiercely, and unapologetically. Because the limits they gave you were never yours to keep. And the power you've unlocked, it is only the beginning of what you were always meant to become. Go now not beyond your limits, but beyond your old limits. The new you has none. This is your time. This is your chapter. This is your becoming. And it all begins with believing, beyond every doubt, that you are far more powerful than you've ever known.